So hello and welcome to the first episode of On the Topic Of. This is a weekly? No.
Bi-weekly, some shit. I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
I fucked it up already, but we'll keep it in anyway. I'm joined by Elaine and Logan. How's it going?
Doing well. My house did not flood and or blow away in the past hour, so I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I'm on vacation right now, so doing great.
How's everyone's week's been? What have you been up to this week?
I mean, I have a job, so that takes up most of it. Yeah. And then I have to babysit Charmer on Flesh and Pod every week, and that takes up a bit of it. And then tonight I'm going to see Megan 2.0. And because my wife has a giant obsession with killer dolls. So
I've never seen the first one.
It's actually entertaining, but it's not. It's very killer doll. Like, it's very Child's Play ish in a lot of ways. You know, the Chucky type stuff.
Looking at the trailer as well, they ramped it right up with regards to what this doll can do.
They have leaned all the way in to the absurd. Yeah. They gave them a budget, and now it's just like, we have a budget? Fuck, we can do weird shit now, and they are straight up doing weird shit.
It looks a little weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought the first one was just like a possessed. I haven't seen the first one, but to me it looked like it was just like a possessed doll horror story.
No,
it was like full on action packed assassin doll warrior.
The premise is that this little girl loses both of her parents, goes to live with her aunt who works for a toy company. She's developing this AI doll that's supposed to be able to like be a friend for children. She gifts it to her niece that she's taking care of because she's struggling to take care of her. She didn't sign up to have a kid. And the prime directive of the doll is to protect the kid. And as you can imagine, the doll then keeps adapting to keep protecting the child in ways that it sees fit. And it goes on an absolute rampage in the interest of protecting the child. They eventually have to defeat it, yada, yada, yada. It's supposed to be a straight up horror movie, but it's funny enough at times that like they made the next one and it's definitely a comedy / horror. Like, they know what they have. They know they have a meme.
The trailer didn't look very scary. I'm also I'm not a killer doll person. Except Dead Silence. I love that horror.
Dead Silence is awesome.
I love that horror. Except Dead Silence. That was like one of my first horror movies, and now it's like one of my comfort movies, you know?
That could be a topic of on Sunday is horror 100%. Movies. So we probably need to save that shit.
I need to make a note.
Dead Silent is great.
It's good. It's a good one.
I love Puppet Master too. Puppet Master is also awesome. But
there's loads of those in there. Remember correctly.
There is
Wishmaster I'm thinking of.
There's 3 or 4 Wishmasters, and I think there's like 7 Puppet Masters.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Google in front of me. I can just look it up, but fuck it. I am looking at Puppet Master.
Absolute rambles aplenty. This is what you can come to expect from this podcast. Just variety of different topics and just random offshoots and all this. But I thought I would go first.
Holy shit. Okay. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There are 15 Puppet Master movies. I'm so sorry.
Direct to VHS, I imagine.
That's crazy.
Direct to VHS, definitely after like number 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because we have one that is it really looks like it's leading into some Nazism. This is fucked. I don't know. I would have to do some work here.
Chicken Run. My God.
Well, I know what you're referring to, so I'm gonna. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back on. Do we have a topic? What is our topic?
Yeah. So I thought I would go first just to try and blend it in because I know we might have a few sort of people coming in to watch this podcast because of what we've been involved in personally. Because obviously we're all involved in Flesh and Blood, the trading card game. And I thought we would do something that's kind of adjacent to that in sort of board games and tabletop games. So on the topic of today, you would have seen the thumbnail is board games and tabletop games, board games specifically, but everything, all iterations of. So I thought I would do that one because it's kind of adjacent to the games that we play and the audiences that we've procured over our sort of time doing Flesh and Blood. So I thought I'd bring that to the table today, if that's okay with everybody.
Oh, we don't get to we don't have a say.
I don't, yeah.
you bring it and we do it. Like, can't wait till I get to go because I've got some fun ones decked up.
Yeah,
but
cool.
Tabletop gaming, board gaming, let's fucking do it. I can shoot from the hip all day long on this shit.
Yeah. So the first thing I would chuck out there is just to get a bit of history about everyone's sort of entry into board game, tabletop game, trading card game. It all melds into one eventually. But what was the earliest experience that you had with a board game? And was there someone that was in your life that maybe introduced it to you in like a meaningful way as well to sort of set you on that path? Who wants to go first on that one?
I mean, I'm the oldest, so I guess I can go first on this one. I would say the first, like, it's sort of a weird path because I start, like I have memories of being 5 or 6 years old playing Candyland with my grandparents, and my brother and such. And then, but the fun part is like, I grew up being a cutthroat little bastard. And so I played I learned how to count by playing the card game Cribbage, which is also a board game because you have a peg of counting board or whatever. So I considered a little bit of both. And the first like real board gaming kind of stuff I did is a little bit of Hero Quest and the original Hero Quest. But it was really like Monopoly. We played Monopoly in the most cutthroat ways possible. We played it for real money. We once we realized that gets really expensive if you're not winning, we decided to set up a circuit and a point system where we then like get together every Sunday night and play some of the most knockdown, drag out Monopoly games you've ever seen.
Gotcha.
And we did golf scoring. So if you came in first, like if you're the first, like the last one standing, you got 0 points, and that's good. You don't want points. And then second place got 2 points, and third place got 3, and fourth place got 4. So I did, the math was mathing, and I'm like, okay, so if theoretically all of this shit just spreads, over the course of time, and somebody's going to randomly win most events, my focus needs to be coming in second every single time. And that way, when the points lap around after 10 games, as long as I won the right share, the split for wins was close, I'm going to be the winner at the end of this and collect the money. And so that's what I did. I just played to come in second every time. And then when the points were totaled up, they're like, how the hell did you beat us by so much? I'm like, I came in second. If I didn't come in first, I always came in second. And it was always by cutting two people's throats and then letting the person that gets first feel like they did something. They didn't. And it just worked every time. And so that was kind of my start with board gaming. And I've got a competitive streak in me. So it kind of had to be that way. I've gotten in more into co-op gaming in like recent years, but yeah, that's kind of where it started. Yeah.
I'm gonna mirror that as well and say Monopoly, because it was my nan mainly that my nan's a librarian, so she obviously introduced me to a lot of books. But in her library, she also had games that you could rent and take home. Mm-hmm. And one of them was I'll get into that bit later. But Monopoly was the one that we had as a family, and yeah, you learn so much from that game.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely mirror you there. Monopoly was one of the classics. Pure cutthroat, great family game, really cutthroat. Strengthens those bonds.
It really does.
Thought I'd mirror you there. What about you, Elaine?
Yeah, I mean, I when you asked the question, first things that came to my mind were definitely Monopoly and Candyland, too, that Logan said. Yeah, I grew up out in the country with I'm one of a million kids. I'm one of 8, 12 really, but I grew up with eight of us in the house. And we were homeschooled. We weren't an electronics family. So if we were an electronics family, there wasn't, we had Rock Band, but it was like two people had to sing. One person was on the foot pedal, one person was hitting the drums, one person was strumming, like one person was pressing the buttons on the guitar, and the other person was strumming, and like that still wasn't enough to incorporate all 8 of us.
Trapp family playing goddamn Rock Band. What the fuck is this?
But like board games were something that like we could like all do together. So we played a ton of board games, like from childhood. Clue, Candyland, Monopoly, and Yahtzee are probably the ones that like stick out to me the most amongst just like regular card games. My dad was a blackjack dealer in the casino, so like we grew up playing cards, and like I love board gaming. I love playing cards, and it's a hobby that I obviously have kept up. I'm also very cutthroat competitive, and I've gotten in. I've scared, I think, quite a few people who have seen me play games in a competitive setting, which doesn't come out a lot in Flesh and Blood, because I try and just play that for fun. But when I get competitive in games, I can be a little bit scary, cutthroat. And definitely am the type, like, in Catan, when you get into trading and stuff, where you make deals with people and then you don't hold up your side of the bargain on purpose. I'm not a very nice
absolute betrayer
person to play board games. Yeah. I will betray you.
Love it.
Oh, she will.
I will.
Yeah. Sick.
There was this one. I'm gonna, like, for Elaine. And this was last year at Gen Con. We had this game we were trying to fill in some time. It was this game where you're trying to get the correct bunny under the correct hat. And we're playing with 4 people. It's me, Elaine, Dagan White, and Mo Bogsley, Mark Johnson.
Yeah.
And Dagan and Mo were fucking up something fierce. They could not get their shit right. And Elaine and I are just looking at them like, you dumb fucks. Like, why do you keep fucking shit up? And at the end of like the timer, because you have to do it all in 3 minutes or whatever, they're like, this game's impossible. And Elaine and I are like, no, you're just dumb. And so they're like, well, you do it then. Like, okay, well, we'll fine. And we'll do it on the hardest setting in 2 people. And the guy that provided the game's like, it's a lot harder with 2 people. We're like, okay, sure. We were done so fucking fast.
Like
that
seconds.
We had like 30 seconds to double check our work. And Mo at the end of it's just like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. And flip. It's all correct. And they're just like, well, what the hell is this? And it's like, you're just dumb. Like Elaine is erupting at them going, it's because you're just dumb. You don't fucking get it. You're fucking stupid. And I'm just like, okay.
It was like, it was one part where we were playing together, and like, so basically you have these bunnies that are color coded and they're tiles face down, and then on top of them are tiles face down with color coded hats, and you have to like match the bunny to the hat, go as fast as possible because you have to do it in like under 2 minutes. And there's I think there's like 12 bunnies and 12 bunnies, hats.
No talking.
No talking. You can't speak at all. So like you have to communicate without communicating, and also just like really trust your partners. And I like switch too, and you have to pay attention what people are moving around, because like you can either pick up and look at a bunny or a hat, or you can like move something, right? So that's like your turn, and then it's over. So like I switched too, and then it was Mo's turn. He immediately switched him back, and I was like, I don't think I've ever given someone like a death stare more intensely in my life. He saw a different side of me with the look I gave him after he did that. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, why would I have switched those two? I'm not, and they. See, I'm getting
it was murderous. Like, she wanted to gut him.
It's like, why would you switch those 2 pieces? I'm not just blindly moving stuff around anyway.
I do love those games where you have to communicate via other means. I think you really get to know people in those games, don't you? Because you're not communicating with anything else apart from like other actions rather than normal communication.
Yeah,
no, 100%. Those are, and I think that those are tons of fun. Somebody that studied communication in college and has a degree in it, it turns into a ton of fun to figure.
It's all beginning to make sense. There we go.
It turns into a thing where you have to find the available means to persuade somebody that you're doing something for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
And they have to pick up on it. And if they don't, you lose. And so you have to be effective. At the same time, if it's something competitive, you also have a reason to obfuscate at the same time and just confuse people. And that's also so much fun. I love that shit.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, the next thing I would throw out here then is, obviously we spoke about Monopoly and obviously entryway games that we grew up with and all that sort of stuff. But what game really sort of hooked you and was a game that sort of totally changed the way that you see board games, whether that's a change from the competitive aspects to maybe something like a co-op game or social deduction, or, you know, what game really sort of changed your viewpoint on games in general and be like, oh wow, okay, this is different. I didn't know a game could emulate this or do this or tell this story.
I gotta Google what this game is called because I don't remember. I remember one piece of it and what you did. It was like a Battle Masters. That was it.
Never heard of it.
It's like, yeah, it is a 2-player, basically battler, right? It was made by Milton Bradley, but it's a 2-player battler. You each control a side in a war. So you're either playing the Chaos Raiders or the Empire, and the goal is to infiltrate. You know, for the Empire, it's to defend. For the Chaos Raiders, it's to push and destroy. It's basically Warcraft, and you get to choose how, you know, are you the orcs or are you the humans? You know, and in this, and it's a board game, so it's tile based, it's hex based, and you like one side has a cannon that they're firing. There are like little minis and shit. It's like the first time I saw minis, like really like minis.
Oh, that's going to be
in a game because yeah. So like because like Hero Quest, they were just standees. They were little cardboard standees. There was nothing to it. But this, you had like a molded cannon that you put into the hex for the mighty cannon, and you had all this other shit, and it was so much fun. It was so interesting, and it was battle. Cause they were actually GW miniatures. That's the fun part, is that like this is a Milton Bradley game with Games Workshop miniatures, which is crazy in 2025 to think about.
Yeah, and if you look at like things like Kickstarter and GameFound and what have you now, games are just selling games on the miniatures alone now.
Right,
which is hilarious to see how it's all evolved since then. But yeah, I've never heard of that. Never heard of Battle Masters before.
It's crazy. You can. I wonder how much a copy of this fucking thing costs. If I want to go look for it, it just seems like it'd probably be expensive as hell because it was made in 1992. Elaine wasn't born yet, and
Love it.
And so my buddy and I would sit there and we would just play this because he was obsessed with wargaming. And so we would play Apple IIgs Civil War emulators, and he couldn't win against me because he didn't understand how important the supply lines were. And I would cut his supply lines. That's all I would do, is I would just attack his supply lines and nothing else. He's like, come fight me over here where I amass this army. No, starve, bitch.
No.
And
cut off the resources.
Yeah, right. And so he was obsessed with wargaming. He eventually joined the army and was an army intelligence officer. So he eventually got good at it. Yeah. But so we sat there for hours just bashing game after game after game after game of this. And it was that was what made me go, okay, Monopoly's fun, but blasting somebody is way more fun. And the 1v1 nature, also, it was really easily set up and bite-sized, which obviously there are a lot of very heavy games now, which are not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first, like, this is something I really enjoy.
Yeah. Sounds good. Nice. What about you, Elaine?
Yeah, I think I have kind of like maybe a cliche overall answer. First of all, I think there's like been a ton of games that I've played that have given me like that moment of like, oh, this is doing something different. Like this is introducing me to like a new side of tabletop gaming, and that's always fun. But I'd say the board game that kind of like got me interested enough to like exploring board games outside of just like the game aisle at Walmart would be like Settlers of Catan or
Oh yeah,
Catan.
yeah, definitely.
But like, yeah, that was like the board game that, you know, bought it, played it, and was like, oh, this isn't Monopoly. This isn't Candyland. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't Yahtzee. This is like what, like, you know, this is just a different level of strategy gaming with tons of fun interactions. And then I started buying like all the expansion packs for that and playing it. Yeah, I must have been it was like late high school, early college for me, really, when I got into Catan. It was like all the time I was just playing it. I was having like people over like weekly, and we were just playing that. And I was like, oh, I have to keep buying. Like once I got started playing it, and my friends started buying like the player expansion on top of all the other expansions, and then it was like, let me just now I'm hitting up actual LGSs and just like buying board games all the time.
Yeah.
But that was the one that like got me from like the generic aisle of any store into an LGS to explore board games on a deeper level.
Yeah, it's what they say in the industry as a gateway game is. That's what Catan is. Yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah, it definitely is, because it's a really good game, and there are a lot of games that like do what it does better, I think. But like it's such a good game, and it's so easy to introduce people to that are like, oh, I don't really play games. I don't really play board games. Like it's just a gateway game for sure.
Yeah.
So it's weird to me, like you bring that up, and I've never thought of this before, but board games in a lot of ways, especially like, you know, once you're above the Monopoly level, are like beer. Because you get a lot of people that say, I don't like beer. And then you're like, well, here, try this. Well, this is delicious. That's a beer.
Yeah.
But isn't all beer taste like Coors? No. Not all board games taste like Monopoly. Not all board games are fucking Sorry or The Game of Life. Like, there is so much depth.
I love The Game of Life.
I also love The Game of Life. Don't get me wrong.
I love that game.
I will have you knocked up in a fucking prison so fast.
Oh my god, that game as well. That's so core memory. That is putting your little pegs in the car and going.
Like unlocked something, because I used to just like, when I was a kid, I loved that game so much that like I would just play with the pegs in the car. So those were like just toys to me. Yeah.
Same.
Oh, I love that game.
No, 100%. And I just had never thought of that before, but it's like that. It's people don't understand sometimes just that board games are, there is something for literally everybody. And
these days as
people, oh yeah, it's such a deep industry these days. And a buddy of mine, James Hudson, he was one of my WoW guildies of all things. He started a board game company, Druid City Games, and their first game was made for children called Barnyard Roundup. Like, that was the first thing he ever did. And he indie published it, did it all on his own, all of his own money. It did well. So now this is what he does. And so he made, if you've heard of Tidal Blades or Wonderland's War or any of those things, those are Druid City Games. Those are his. He made those.
Nice.
And they're incredible, but like his company gears to like all ages and levels. And so it's incredible. But I think that people do underestimate the industry quite a bit too. And I think that if people took the time to understand that they go to Gen Con, for God's sakes. That'll do it. Do we get to baptize you this year? I guess I haven't found out yet.
No, I'm not because I work for a board game company as well. I work for a company called Steamforge Games, who do a lot of IP-based board game translations, as well as a tabletop miniatures game called War Machine as well. So doing really well. One of the largest publishers out there at the moment, I think, Steamforge. So
yep.
Where was I going with this? Gen Con, yeah. So I've only started in that business within the last 6 months. So I'll be going to Gamma next year.
Okay.
And then probably Gen Con next year, but not this year, unfortunately. So unless I can get out there on my own whim, but I'm also in the process of buying a house, so that's why I'm not.
Yeah, don't. You have made it to the States once this year. You're good. You don't need to come again.
Yeah, I've seen you 3 times this year. That's enough, you know.
Yeah, your liver could not take a fourth.
No, probably not.
It would die.
Yeah,
that's okay.
So just going back to the hooking of games. So I'm going to throw something else in here. For me, going back to my nan having games in the library. So because I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan, have been for ages. And there was a game that she brought back, and it was called Lord of the Rings. And it was by Rina Knizia, who's one of the biggest designers of board games out there. And it was my first experience with a cooperative board game, which I was like, do these things exist? Like, I can play this with my friends and not have to cutthroat them and not have to kill them. We can play this together. We can experience it as an adventure. And obviously this Lord of the Rings game was very, very old. It's very abstract now in comparison to what's out there. And there's a load of good Lord of the Rings games out there, which you can check out these days. But back then, playing that game with my friends around the table, we all had the same goal. You know, you choose one of the hobbits. And it was basically remembering it. It was basically as if we were the hobbits traveling to Mordor, trying to get through this board game. And that was a very, very core memory for me, because I was like, wow, you can play these types of games with your mates around a table and you have a common goal. So I think that's shaped my sort of tastes in games, because like playing Magic, me and my mates were playing Magic Commander before Commander was even a thing. We were sitting around playing multiplayer games together, just having a nice social experience. So when I discovered co-op games, it was like, wow, we don't need to kick the shit out of each other anymore. We can have a common goal and go through this adventure together. So for me,
but kicking the shit out of each other is fun.
It is.
I would say that's like the opposite experience I had with Catan, where I was like, oh, this is I can be even more cutthroat.
Yeah,
correct.
I'm gonna build a road.
Yeah.
Around you.
Yeah,
I'm going to fence you in, you dumb fuck.
Yeah. You want to make a trade deal?
Yeah.
I won't build here if you do this, and then you build there anyway.
Yeah.
Because
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
that's all good. I was just going to say, like that's why board games are so fun, especially because there's so many genres, so many ways you can play these games now. That I just wanted to bring up cooperative games, because I think you're familiar as well with co-op games, aren't you, Logan? You've played a few.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, the game that I play the most right now is cooperative. So because the game I play the most right now is Kingdom Death Monster, which is wild. And that's very co-op. And yeah, back to the Lord of the Rings. I had to look it up to make sure I was thinking of the right one.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was the Fantasy Flight one, and that's the one you're talking about, is the one from Fantasy Flight. But the thing I remember the most is the art in that game. I don't remember the gameplay at all. I just remember the art.
Yeah, the box art is like iconic. It's just like got Gandalf on it. It's like beautiful, beautiful art painted. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like cooperative games. I've never played Kingdom Death Monster because I just don't have the group anymore that can dedicate to that sort of style of game, because it is very. Like, I remember watching some videos on it or something, and then aren't you like spawned into a huge battle with like you're naked and you have a piece of glass as your weapon to begin with or something?
Yeah, you are accurate. You have a stone effectively as your starting weapon, and you're wearing a loincloth.
That's it.
And you're fighting either a lion or a bloodthirsty alligator or this fat baby looking thing with a guiding light in front of its face like it's a predatory fish.
Oh wow.
And then you have to build civilization over again because you're amnesiacs.
You hunt monsters, and then you go back to the village and upgrade your village, and then go back out again and rinse and repeat sort of thing.
And then you do that. Yeah, you usually have 3 quarries, so eventually 4 quarries that you can go choose to hunt. And then there are things called nemesis encounters, which are things that are attacking you. They're coming to your village to attack you. You don't have a choice on what to fight then. They just show up.
Yeah.
Like we were in year 20 of 20 out of 30 in our most recent campaign when we wiped. So campaign's done. All those hours we spent to get to endgame are gone. Everybody is dead. All of our gear is gone. That's it. And so we have to start all the way over. And everybody in that group is like, we have to start over. Hell yeah. Let's pick our next monsters to go fuck up.
Yeah, that's like the Dark Souls thing. It's just like trial by fire.
Same thing.
If you die, you have to learn from death. You have to learn from pain, basically.
This is Monster Hunter crossed with Dark Souls as a board game.
That sounds good. Yeah.
It's just super expensive too. Like it's like $1,500 to get the all in when it's on sale.
Oh, really?
So
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is not cheap.
Yeah. Have you played any co-op spelling? Any experience with co-op games? Like Pandemic's a big one. Not sure if you played that.
Yeah. No, I've never played Have I played Pandemic? Maybe once. I really like the Arkham Horror games, though.
Oh, yeah.
Arkham Horror is cool.
Ever played. I really like Arkham Horror. Mansion of Madness is literally right there on the shelf back there.
Oh,
yeah. There's a...
You've got Wingspan on there. What's the one below it? What's that orange-looking one?
Oh, my gosh. That game...
Gloomhaven?
It's Mezzo, which...
Looks like Gloomhaven.
It kind of has a funny story attached to that game. Because I got very drunk at a bottomless brunch one time, and I'd been eyeing that Mezzo board game at like an LGS for forever, and I got very drunk at a bottomless brunch one time, and I was like, we have to go buy Mezzo. Like I was very drunk, and I was like, I want to go buy Mezzo. Like, what if we went and bought Mezzo right now? Because that game was like over $100, very expensive.
Were you just basing this decision on the art alone? Then were you like, this is a beautiful box, I want to go and get it?
Yeah, like I just had been reading about it. It seemed kind of cool because it's like about like Aztec gods, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, man, I just need it. I don't know. I've been looking at it. I've been eyeing it for a while. And after bottomless brunch one time, I made my partner at the time. And it was like, you have to take me. We have to go get it. And so I did go there very drunk, got it, went home, and I was like, set it all up. It was like my partner and our friend and I was like, we have to play this right now. Still so drunk, and set it up, and then I was like, hey, like you go first. So like my partner played his turn, and then our friend played his turn, and then by the time it made it back to me, I had passed out, fallen asleep, and I've never played it since, actually.
Brilliant. Love that.
Great.
It was really complicated. And then I read the directions, and I could not figure out actually how to play it, like once I was sober. So I asked a few friends around that are also in gaming. They're like, I've never heard of that. Can't help you. And so that was probably 4 or 5 years ago at this point.
Wow.
I gotta Google this one.
Mezzo, yeah.
I've never heard of it.
But yeah, as far as co-ops, like I really enjoy the Arkham Horror games a lot. Also, so I'm on vacation right now. My siblings and I, board games are also part of their childhood. I'm definitely probably the biggest gamer, at least tabletop gamer out of my siblings still to this day. But they all have like families, you know.
Yeah.
Responsibilities. But like every summer we get together for a weekend, we like rent a place, and then we just play games as if we're kids again for the whole entire weekend. So that's what I'm doing this weekend. And we always get those exit strategy games, which are like escape rooms in a box.
Yep.
Yeah, those are really fun. I guess they're technically a co-op too. Yeah. But those are really fun, and I do those all the time with my siblings every time we get together.
Yeah, there's a giant part of me that wishes I didn't love the social nature of board gaming, because if you're not familiar with it, there's a board game series called Final Girl that is
I've seen
fucking
that on the shelf.
unreal
I just
awesome.
never played
It's
it.
so good. It's so good. I've played it. I have played it with a friend. Like we just kind of like combo piloted, but it didn't feel right. Like you could just because you could just do it yourself.
So like
And it's
80s
designed to be-
horror slasher sort of vibe, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yet it comes in every boss is its own VHS cassette box that folds open. It's magneted into a game board with its own pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
so cool.
It's so good. It's insanely well designed. And it's also fun as hell too. It's just incredibly made. And it's about the only like downside to me is it's a solo game. I just want to play with people.
Oh, it's solo, is it? It's not.
Yes,
That
it's a
surprises me
solo
that-
game.
Yeah, it surprises me that a solo game is not designed to be cooperative, because normally you have a cooperative game which you can play solo, but that
Yeah.
surprises me that it's not the other way around. That's interesting.
No, it's just designed to be a solo game, and like every bone in my body wants to buy all of it. But it's like at that point in time, why am I just not like playing Claire Obscure, Expedition 33? Why am I not just spending more time on Baldur's
that's
Gate
an
3? There's
episode.
less setup,
Jesus.
right? Like,
Yeah.
that's an episode.
Yeah.
But like, I have the ability to just do things a lot easier than popping that out. But the experience is so good that I've still been on the fence, like of just buying the whole thing, because it is so incredibly well done, and I just want to own it as a display piece potentially. Like Jesus Christ, it's so good.
I imagine there's probably someone that's been like, oh, here's a community-made cooperative mode for this
Probably,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that does surprise me. But yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that one on LGS shelves, and maybe that's why it's not moving, because it's a solo game. That's why maybe it's still on the shelf in the LGS.
It sells very well at conventions like Origins and Gen Con. They sell the shit out of that game.
What is it called?
Final Girl.
Let's see if I've seen this before.
Yeah, it looks like the art looks really good.
Oh, yeah. I have seen this before. I've looked at this. I didn't realize it was a solo game. I guess I didn't look too well into it, much like Mezzo.
This does not cost as much as Mezzo. So
This looks cool. I
It is
love the
sick.
social aspect of board gaming also, but at the same time, I'm actually a very introverted person. I love to be alone. So this might be fun.
Yeah, I've definitely played a few games solo before. One of them, like going back onto what you said about cooperative games and the Arkham Horror Files is what they call it, the Arkham Horror Files series of games. One that's the next question I'm gonna throw at you is what is the first game you ever bought with your own money? Maybe that's already been answered with Mezzo, but the first game that I ever bought with my own money was a game called Eldritch Horror, which is basically Arkham Horror, but basically zoomed out. So it's like a world map view rather than just a city of Arkham. That was the first game I ever bought. 'Cause I remember watching when I was first discovering games again, like maybe 10, 15 years ago. I googled top 10 epic sprawling games, and that was one of them that came up at the time. And I don't know where I was going with this, but the first game I ever bought was Eldritch Horror, and I absolutely love like the Cthulhu mythos and everything else that surrounds that. I just love the dark
Lovecraft, yeah.
And this is a game that you could play solo, or it was like on the box it says 1 to 8 players. I wouldn't play it with 8 because that would take like 5
Decades.
hours. But first game you bought with your own money. What do you remember?
Was it Mezzo, Elaine?
Mezzo?
I know. I actually didn't buy Mezzo.
Oh my god!
Elaine,
How deep is it?
did you force somebody else to buy Mezzo for you while you were drunk?
Brilliant.
Anyway, that's a tough question to ask.
She also talked the pants off a juggler once, so this isn't surprising.
I did do that once, yeah. But first game I ever bought with my own money. I don't know if I don't know if I remember this. This could be incorrect. But one of the first games that I remember like buying and seeing and being like, I have to get that is Sid Meier's Civilization, which I love like playing I love Sid Meier's on computer, and I was at an LGS and I saw that they had a board game version of it, and it was like Snap Auto Buy.
Yeah.
And I think that was like maybe my first like bigger board game purchase, that it was like, oh, I just snap buying a board game for the sake of buying it outside of like in an LGS setting, right? Outside of like the typical stereotypical board games. And it's an okay board game. I think they did like a pretty good job. Like, it's a little clunky, but if you've ever played Sid Meier's, if you've ever played Sid Meier's, there's a lot of moving parts. It's a little, the game itself can be a little clunky. The
video game is clunky.
Yeah, the video game is clunky. So like to translate that into a board game, it's a little clunky, but I think they did a good job of like providing like the multiple victory routes in the board game too. So I enjoy it. I love Sid Meier's Civilizations. Not all of them, but
no. But
I grew up on PC games could be another thing really, but
sure.
I grew up on. Do you remember any of the theme park world games, or Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Oh yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yes, Zoo Tycoon.
Zoo Tycoon.
Mall Tycoon.
Yeah.
I had them all.
Those games were incredible. I used to spend
hours
on those
games. I love those.
But slightly too old for those. But.
Yeah. Theme Park World was crazy though, because you could build your whole theme park, and then there was this mode where you could transition into one of the people visiting the park, and you could just ride all of the rides that you've put on in your park, which was just brilliant. I know that's a random offshoot, but I just thought I'd chuck that in there because it's just fun. I'm sure someone in the comments would be like, remember, oh yeah, Theme Park World, brilliant, Roller Coaster Tycoon, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
I played all of those. Yeah, I played them because I was a GameStop / Babbage's employee, so we could check games out and take them home and play them, and then bring them back like it was a library.
Yeah.
And so I played all of them except for I had to pay for it. I got paid for it instead of paying for it. And so I played all of those. I just didn't spend a ton of time on them because I was a broke college student at minimum, and didn't. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I loved those when I was a kid. I played those a lot. We had like one of those like we had a computer room closet under the staircase, that two people could fit in max at a time.
Yeah. And
it was like just a dark little, and we weren't allowed like a ton of computer time, but when we were, like, I played that a lot, and RuneScape, Wizards 101, which I still play. So same with RuneScape. Don't judge me. And like obviously Webkins because I was a kid. And Nancy Drew. I did actually a little bit of game testing when I was 9 years old for Nancy Drew. I love Nancy Drew.
First game I ever bought, I'm pretty sure. So I played board games forever, or it feels like forever, since the 90s. But the first thing I can ever remember buying for myself is I used to play Magic like competitively. So travel to Grand Prix all the time, play in larger events. And when you do that, I always played aggro decks, because the worst thing about playing Magic was playing Magic.
Yeah.
I was there to hang out with people more than anything else. I kind of have that in Flesh and Blood, but I enjoy playing Flesh and Blood way more than I ever enjoyed playing Magic. And so what we would do is somebody would bring a game that was bite-sized that we could play in between rounds. And so the game that I always brought, and I bought the original version, I still have it, was Love Letter. I have thousands of games of Love Letter under my belt over the course of the last 13 years or so. And to the point that we were sitting in like a ProQuest or something in Nebraska, and I was playing probably Briar or some shit, because I was getting through my rounds like super fast and sitting around bored, and I'm just like, hold on, there's always Love Letter in my bag. So start rummaging my bag. I'm like, yep, got a copy of Love Letter. Let's go.
Yeah.
And taught people Love Letter. And it's such a quick bite-sized, but it's still cutthroat as shit
little palate
game.
cleanser. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so that was probably, like, honestly, even though, played Catan, played Bang. I love playing Bang. Bang's fun as shit.
Yeah.
But the first one I probably ever spent my own money on was Love Letter.
Yeah.
You didn't answer the question though.
Well, yeah. Well,
Eldritch Horror, wasn't it?
Eldritch Horror, yeah. Yeah, I went straight.
Yeah.
I went
Okay.
straight in, straight.
Yeah,
in with
dove face first. Just
first. Absolutely.
no consequences, no thinking about your own safety. Just get in there face down and start mucking around and see what you find.
You better believe it, team. Tall Timmy, yeah. That was Eldritch Horror for me. I just love another I think it was Eldritch Horror, but what I immediately bought after that as well, because there was more epic sprawling games that I was just buying everything back then. Back when I had a lot more expendable money. Talisman, you ever played that?
Yep, play Talisman.
Yeah.
I enjoy Talisman a lot.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's so the mechanics are so old school. Roll and move, roll a dice. That's how far you move. Situation, very Monopoly-esque. But I love the games that you don't play the game plays you. Basically,
Yep.
You're just drawing a fucking card and you're dealing with it. Basically,
Yep, find out how fucked you are.
But yeah, you encounter a level 8 strength demon and you're level 1. You're like, oh great, here we go. Then I'm going to lose a life here. Or you meet a witch in the middle of a forest and she turns you into a toad for 3 turns, and you're like, oh fuck, I can only move one space at a time. I really don't like it. So Eldritch Horror is quite similar to that as well, because you're drawing from an encounter deck, and that encounter deck will be different each time, and they can do horrible things to you. So I feel like games like that, like co-op games that put you through the ringer, are always like at the top of my list, because I just love playing games with mates and just the game battering us constantly, and we have to try and find a way through it.
Yeah, a good ass beating is always on the menu. I enjoy
exactly.
a good ass beating.
Yeah, a proper. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, that's
Lucy's just like,
I like to win. Like, I just like to win. Like,
I love the polarity between the people though.
no, you
yeah, I'll be straight up.
Yeah.
I just
Because-
like to win.
don't. You almost punted that game of Secret Hitler, and I had to save us. So that was on
But-
you.
Who knew Dagan was a good liar? Like,
No, he's not. That's the point. Like, so here's what happens, Ed.
maybe I was too
And
sober. I don't know.
You were probably way
Like,
too sober, but
yeah.
so Dagan makes a play that outs him as Hitler to me pretty much immediately, and I'm on liberal. We're playing Secret Hitler, obviously, and Elaine has checked me. She knows I am a liberal, and I have to try to convince her, because she's worried that I think that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I have to convince her to give me to let the Chancellor pass to me, so that I can kill Hitler. And she's screaming at me about, who are you going to kill? Who are you going to kill? And so I picked one of the other people that I knew was liberal. And she's like, okay, you can be Chancellor. And I'm like, great, kill Dagan. And she's like, what? How fucking dare you? And Dagan's like, yeah, I'm Hitler. And I'm like, that's why.
Oh my
She's
god.
like, you lied to me? I'm like, yes, because if I didn't fucking lie to you, you were going to do something stupid, which is let Dagan get Chancellor, and then we lose. So it's either lose or lie to you. I chose lie to you.
I was really bamboozled. That's what's so fun about Secret Hitlers. Like, sometimes you get so deep into the wrong side.
Yes.
Like, when you're playing a liberal, and it's like, you've been so swindled. Like, you're just so deep, and you're gaslighting yourself. It's so fun.
Those
I mean,
games
Dagan
are
played
so
a pretty-
fun.
Dagan played it really well, but he used a strategy that I'm pretty much that's one of the things I like to do when I'm Hitler specifically. And he killed off one of his own fascists early.
Right.
He sold out one of his own. And so that's what had Elaine like bamboozled. But when he did it, I was like, no, that's a Hitler move right now. And so you're Hitler, and I can never let Chancellor get to you. Got it.
I think, I think I was too sober. I love playing Secret Hitler. I love playing Secret Hitler. I'm a really good, I think I'm a really good liar, because I'm just so silly and stupid all the time that, like,
You do fool people really, really well.
Yeah,
like,
you can't get a read on me. Like, you don't know.
That's bullshit. You can 100% get a read on you, but you have to first reject the premise. You have to reject the premise that you're stupid and silly.
You have to really, really, really know me really well.
As soon as the premise is rejected, It's probably very fortunate that in none of those games you and I wound up as fascists.
Oh my
because
gosh.
it would have been horrible for everybody.
We'd have run circles around them.
It'd have been Hitler wouldn't have known what was going on.
No.
It would have been fucking hilarious. It's like, yeah, congratulations, you're on the Oops I Win team.
Yeah,
So-
like don't even worry about it. Sit back and relax. Hitler.
chill out.
We got this.
We're gonna anoint you down the road and you'll be fine.
Amazing. So, what is a game that you will always say yes to?
Oh wow.
So, what's something
man.
if someone came to you and be like, "Oh, do you play this?" Like, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Let's go.
Yeah.
Keep the heroes out is probably my answer. Keep the heroes out is this weird like board setup dungeon crawler thing, but you're the monsters trying to prevent the hero party from getting to the treasure.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you're spawning monsters and you're just like trying to overload the heroes before they can get to before they can clear the dungeon. So you're playing the opposite side of the dungeon crawler. It's so well made. And it's bite-sized enough that you can kind of run a lot of different events. So that one, Return to Dark Tower has to be on the list. I don't know if you've ever seen that operate, where it has an electronic tower you're dropping skulls into, and it connects to an app, and then the app tells you you're fucked. And then the other one would be like Marvel United. I really love Marvel United. Like once it's set up and you can keep swapping out over and over and over again, that Neon's End, like those are just perfect. I'm going to grind a game for 3 hours if I have the time to do it. But like it just somebody was like, I have this right now, we can set it up and play at an armory. I'm like, I'm dropping from armory and we are setting this up and playing. It's probably Keep the Heroes Out.
Yeah. I know that there's a few dungeon crawlers that. So is it obviously it's multiplayer? Yeah, this one I've never heard.
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
before.
It's co-op multiplayer. Yep.
Oh, okay, but you're all cooperating against the heroes going through the dungeon, and you're placing.
And there's a number of different monster types you can pick. There's decks of cards. You can there's markets to like buy and obtain weapons to like upgrade your abilities as the monsters. The different monsters can do different things. Like if you're a ghost, you can go through walls. If you're if you're the skeletons, you control like 80 fucking skeletons. Like you have a billion of them.
Yeah.
They're shit. They get hit once they die. But
swarm tactics.
You have some of them, and you have rats that can do different things when they spawn, and gremlins and goblins and all kinds of shit. So, and then there's a dragon who's only ever one dragon, and it always has to start in the same room. But dragon gone dragon and do shit. So, and then like how you have your monster party configured for each dungeon matters a ton too. If like for success, so you can kind of change your difficulty levels by saying, okay, we know that this is good in this dungeon, so let's change to something bad and see if we can still get through it. So there's some replayability there too. It's actually just really good.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it. I know of dungeon crawl games where you split the player. So one of them is the dungeon master that's trying to get you, and then the other three are trying to go through a dungeon. I think Descent is like that.
Yeah, Descent's like that.
Yeah,
Betrayal's kind of like that. Betrayal at the House on the Hill is kind of like that. Like that's absolute classic. And somebody becomes the betrayer.
Have you played the Baldur's Gate one?
No, I haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, so I want to do that at some point as well. But what about you, Elaine? Game that?
Oh,
what was you going to say?
I was gonna say like similar to that, but like on a very, very basic level for people that are interested is Obscurio. I don't know if either of you have ever played that.
Never played it. Have seen it.
Yeah, so you're like trying to escape through like 5 rooms as a team, and there's like a grimoire of sorts, and there's like a bunch of different images, and each image is a different door, right? And so the grimoire like picks an image, looks at it, and then like flips 2 random images down into their book and can give you like 2 hints, non-verbal hints about the image that they secretly looked at. Then everyone closes their eyes. They shuffle like 5 more images in with the image the grimoire looked at, lays them all out, and then based off of the 2 clues, you get like 2 minutes to debate, and everyone has to pick a door on an image. And so there's like 5 rooms. You have to make it through 5 doors, but like for each person that picks the wrong door, like you lose points, and then you can all die before you make it through. It's like very easy to play and easy to understand. Like I play it also with my like nieces and nephews who are all under 10. Like it's really fun. It's really easy, but it is kind of like, it's like that too, where there's someone trying to guide you through, and you have to like really know that person really well, and also like have good communication.
Bite size enough.
Yeah, it's good. But as far as like a game that I'll always say yes to, probably Sagrada. I love that game. It's one of those games where it's like I feel like I can play chess like while everyone else is playing checkers, because it's like at the base of it, you're in your own mini game trying to like complete this like little stained glass image, and then there's also objectives where it's like, oh, I get more points if I do like these 3 things. But if you play it strategically enough, you can really fuck everyone up. And
going back to
I love that.
Everyone up again.
Yeah, it's like I'm playing a mini game of Sudoku over here, and I'm gonna like make sure that you can't finish your Sudoku puzzle. And like, because it's like I have an addiction to Sudoku and math. Quite honestly, I am a scientist. I do math and Sudoku a lot for fun. Pretty much every day I play math. I do math for fun and Sudoku for fun. There was a point where Sudoku was like the most used app on my phone, and the hours on Sudoku a week were like 30 hours. It was
wow.
I played a lot of Sudoku. And Sagrada is like, in a way, it's a little bit like Sudoku, right? Because it has an element of Sudoku because you have to like get the colors all not by each other and not in the same rows and columns. There's like a little element of Sudoku, which I love. It's like a puzzle. I love puzzles. But then also there's enough interaction between players because you're all taking from the same dice pool to build your image that like I'm also looking at what you need next, and I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
So if you don't gather anything else from this episode at all, it's that Elaine Hammondtree is a sadistic asshole. That's it.
I've been playing that game before, and what's there's another one with like tiles that you build. Is it Aztec? There's another one. Azteca? Is that I can look it up, but yeah, I've been playing both of those games before with people, and then they get like a few games in, a few turns in, and they're like, wait a minute. I needed that. You took that from me a while ago. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Cut you off.
I know I did. Yeah, and I know you weren't thinking that far ahead, so get with it. And they're like, we're playing 2 different games right now. And I'm like,
I'm playing the macro and the micro. You're playing the micro, and that means you lose.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's one of those where it's Azul. That's what it is.
Azul, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Azul.
The terracotta tiles, isn't it? That one. Yeah.
Yeah, the terracotta tiles. Yeah, Azul. And yeah, I've played both of those games where people have had the like, wait, yeah, I'm playing checkers and you're over there playing chess, and I'm like,
that's right.
Yeah. And that's what I like out of board games.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're not a Splendor addict as well, but maybe it's because you've never played. Yeah, it's probably because you've never played it.
Splendor.
Yeah,
I think you'd enjoy Splendor.
Ones that I would always say yes to, because me and my friends have had some ridiculous times with it, are the games that really bring out your role-playing silliness. And have you ever played Sheriff of Nottingham?
No.
My God.
I don't. Well, it sounds familiar, but
yeah,
I'm gonna say no, but I should Google it.
Yeah, it's absolutely hilarious. You basically every round, one of you is the sheriff, and you're all traders, all trying to get goods into the Nottingham town, and one of you is the sheriff each turn, and you have to try and get as much goods through the sheriff as possible, and you can put legal goods.
You're smuggling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're smuggling past a sheriff, so you can put legal goods into your bag, or you can put illegal goods into your bag. If you sneak the illegal goods in, obviously they're worth more points. But if the sheriff decides to check your bag and you've got illegal goods in there, that's when you go down. You get done. You're in the shit then, because you've tried smuggling through illegal goods past the sheriff. And every turn, someone in the group is the sheriff, and you have to try and get past them. You'd be like, yeah, I've just got 4 chickens in this bag. That's it. 4 chickens and a piece of cheese. That's what I've got in this bag.
Ignore the vial of cocaine. That's not a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just one of those games that, you always get into character. You're always like, oh, yes, right, I'm the sheriff now. What have you got in your bag today, sir? I love those games that just...
I don't have the accent for it. I can't pull it off. I'd sound like somebody out of the fucking South. What's in your bag? Like some shitty American thing, It's not near as much fun.
Sir. Yeah. But anything that brings out the role playing, brings out the silliness, I love that. Cosmic Encounter again is another good one.
Cosmic Encounter's good.
Yeah, really, really good. It's basically just like Alien Poker with special variable player powers, which is really, really cool. And then anything that's like a storytelling game as well, like I mentioned earlier, like flipping encounter cards and working as a team to get through the thing, or anything that tells a good story at the end of it. That's games that I would say yes to personally. But yeah,
you're so much more wholesome than me.
And me too, honestly. There's a game that's debuting at Gen Con this year that I snap signed up for the demo, the version of the demo that lets you take the game home afterwards. You pay for the game and then they show you how to play it. Because once I saw what it was, I was like, there's no way that I don't love this game. And it's called Emerald Skulls. And it's a combo platter of Yahtzee and gambling. Because your turn is a Yahtzee turn. You're rolling these Emerald Skulls.
Craps,
right. Yeah, pretty much. And trying to build out your tableau with the dice and make sure you're hitting all the points similar to Yahtzee. But when it's not your turn, you and the other players that are not rolling are gambling on the rolls.
Oh, cool.
When it's not your turn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can, 1, love this game because I'm rolling bones and then gambling. And 2, I can probably monetize this, much like we do with Elaine in the dice game, which isn't monetizing, it's just making Elaine drink way too much alcohol.
You play
to the point that
well.
Oh yeah.
Well, how does your dice game work?
So how does the one that Jordan play work? I play several different ones.
The one that Jordan has is if you're sitting to the left of me, you have 1 dice and I have 2 dice, and 1 dice is the multiplier dice, and I can choose to roll the multiplier dice prior to Jordan rolling his dice, right? So, or whoever's sitting to the left of me. So if you roll the multiplier dice like I did, and I roll a 6
all the time.
Yeah, I roll a 6 on the multiplier dice. Then Jordan rolls a dice, and Jordan rolls a 6 on his dice. And then I roll my second dice, and I roll a 1. You take the difference between Jordan's roll and my second roll, so 5, and then you multiply it by 6, and you have to drink that much.
Oh,
drink 30 drinks. Yeah. Drink 30, which is a 30-second beat of drinking.
Yeah.
And it's lose or stays, right? So if you lose, you have to keep rolling.
I think it is
until you win.
Till you win.
And then and you're a bitch if you don't roll the multiplier dice. So and that's where Lane dies.
Wow.
Because I'm not a bitch.
It's funny hearing what a dice game is over there, because here I was at Reading Festival. Me and my mate was just like, oh, she played dice game with this new group of people, and all it was you take it in turns to roll a d6, and that's how many drinks you do. That's it. so it's
pretty cut and dried.
We're all sat around the table. Yeah. Do you want to play dice game? Yeah, right. Okay. What's the rules? Right. Roll the dice. Let's do that first of all. Roll dice. 5. Okay. Take 5 swigs of your drink. That's your turn, right? Pass the dice to the next person, and that's it. To begin with, people are like, the fuck is this game? And then after a few rounds, everyone's like, this is a great game.
We over-engineer everything. So
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That's what I said earlier about, well, not earlier. I think it was on the intro episode where I was like, I drink for the effect rather than the taste.
sure,
right?
yeah.
This is just rolling dice and drinking.
Roll the dice and drink that much.
Are you familiar with the video game Mario Kart?
Yes. Yeah.
So we play a version of Mario Kart called "Don't Drink and Drive Mario Kart."
Yeah.
And
Beerio card is what I
Mario
call it.
Kart's fine too, but like the rules of the game are simple. You have a drink. You have to finish the drink before the race ends, but you cannot drink while you are driving.
Yeah.
So you have to stop and then drink. Or if you're me, you pound the drink and then drive.
Yep.
And so round one is beer.
Yep.
And then the loser automatically drinks, and then the winner can assign a drink to any of the other players that are not that did not come in last. Round two is shots. So it's doubles. You just do your double and then go, right? And then the winner assigns a drink to any of the others. The other two, loser has to drink. Round three is a beer and a shot. And so you got to do your beer, do your shot, and yada, 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 same story. Last round is 2 doubles, and then the winner for their celebration has to shotgun a beer. So the overall winner has to shotgun a beer, and we get to. So winning is also losing. Is the moral of the story here. But that's just the way we play Don't Drink and Drive Mario Kart. It's super over-engineered. But
yeah.
Wow.
I played that one time with like a group of friends, and our DD was with us. Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive.
Oh.
And but our DD like still wanted to play, right? And so we're like, yeah, you can. Of course you can play. Like just race, and then like you're just gonna have to wait on all of us idiots to finish the race. We beat them every single race, and they weren't stopping to drink. They were just really bad. Yeah. You know, after every race, we're like, what are you doing over there? Like, what's going on?
Have you
we're
never played
over
Mario?
here like, yeah. Like this is a whole relay for us. And you're just how are you? Yeah, it was funny.
We could do an entire episode on drinking games
This is just what the episodes will sort of devolve into as they come to a close, is just drinking speak, right?
Potentially, yeah. Like playing Boom Cup, because Boom Cup is another fun one that I love.
Is that
playing.
Stack Cup? I think
Same thing.
Stack Cup. Yeah.
Do you play with shit cups though?
What do you mean?
We also have 2 cups that we put whiskey in.
Okay.
And so
Well, I've played that game with just whiskey before. That was a bad,
100%.
yeah, bad day. Played it with wine, played it with whiskey. One time, so you have like the bitch cup right in the middle, and then sometimes we'll do other ones, but the bitch cup is usually like something really brutal and crazy, not like because
we always randomize it. Yeah,
I've gone to parties and people are just like beer, a whole beer, and the first time I played it, it was like beer, whiskey, tequila, gin, Listerine.
Listerine.
Yeah,
I love it.
The next time I went to a party and they were just like a full beer, I was like, wow, that's not a bitch cup.
Yeah. Wow.
No, we would make like 3 or 4 on a table of like 15 or whatever, and we'd randomize them. So you never knew where it was. But the problem is that my friend Edgar and my friends Edgar and Mary are a couple. They're from Kentucky, and they're bourbon drinkers. Like they collect bourbon. And
nice.
And so those two and I could drink the bourbon, like the bourbon cups or whatever we put in them, and never make a face. Like they would never know. And so when you get down to like 2 or 3 cups, all of them could be gone. And then people start panicking because they don't want to have to take the shots that are out there, and they think they're still out there. And then we just start booming people left and right because we've already taken them. We know they're gone, but they don't know they're gone. And now they're thinking about it. And so it turns into a very bad day for them. So it's just a lot of fun doing that shit.
Yeah.
I've had some bad times on that game.
we've all I did actually punch a hole in their wall once during that game, but well,
I broke my foot playing spoons one time. So.
How? You don't use your feet in that game, Elaine.
Okay, well, what happened, and this is still like a big debate amongst the people who were present. We were playing spoons, and we were playing at like a high top table. I get competitive. I've said that quite a few times throughout.
Oh yeah.
Throughout this episode, there was one spoon. There was one spoon left. It was a bunch of coworkers and I at the time, and I was the manager. But we were all the same age. It was in college, and there was one spoon left. It was me and my friend, and the spoon. I grabbed the. I'm gonna get mad. I grabbed the spoon. I won that game. I grabbed the spoon first. It left the table in my hand, and once it got an inch off the table, to me that's victory. But what happened was it got an inch off the table, and then my opponent yanked the spoon out, and instinctively I climbed onto the table and just tackled him to get the spoon back. And it was like I said, we were playing at a high top. He moved out the way, so I just came down. And my leg got caught in the chair, and then everyone was like, "Man, you lost and you broke your foot." And I was like, "I did not lose that game."
You were unconcerned about the foot.
Yeah, then the next morning I had to call my boss after going to the
Urgent care.
Yeah, urgent care, and I was like, "Hey, I can't come to work today. I broke my foot." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "What were you doing?" And I was like, "Playing spoons with the employees." He was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I broke my foot playing spoons with the employees." And he's like, "How did you break your foot playing?" He was like, "Wait, I thought I knew what spoons was, but maybe I don't know what that game is." And I was like, "It's the game. There's a bunch of spoons. You have to. It's kind of musical chairs, but like with spoons." And he was like, "How?" Anyway, he laughed. I didn't get in trouble because he thought it was the funniest thing ever. But
I mean, it's on the list, but it's like, there's this weird thing. There's the list of shit that's funny, and then there's like Elaine Absurd.
Yeah.
Like on the Elaine Absurd chart, that's like maybe a 4.
it's not that bad.
Not that bad. I've seen worse.
I was just like winning a game of spoons.
Well, yeah. I mean, no, you lost. And
no, I won. The spoon left the table in my hand.
It sounds like when the dust settled, you did not have the spoon in your possession.
One of my friends has like a video from that night, and I am like on the floor like, "Guys, my foot really hurts," and everyone else is like, "Elaine won that game." It's like a full-on war. Like everyone is yelling at each other. You can't hear anything. Yeah, just chaos. I'm on the ground. I'm like holding my foot, and I'm like, "I definitely won." And then like, there's like the other people are like in each other's faces, yelling at each other. Like, no.
My God.
Anyway.
Well, that is the vibe of this podcast. Really, it's just there is a topic, but it just de-escalates and just goes to pure chaos towards the end. But I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Spoons is a tabletop game. That is true.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's all I've got for this first episode. Thought it was a nice little conduit into the topics that we might discuss, and obviously the debauchery and the tales that come along the way. So thanks for doing this. For the first episode. I've run out of water now, but I'll have a drink on the next one. I'll have a drink on the next one.
That's fine. I'll be the
peek behind the curtain. So I'm actually working this weekend because I'm going to be casting the UK Nationals for Flesh and Blood alongside my good friend Ian Holland. So we're actually here in an official capacity. So I'm not drinking. That's why I've got the water.
That was me last weekend, to be
yeah, it
fair.
was, yeah, you did a really good job of that as well. I was there.
Oh, thank you. I
watching the whole
appreciate it.
time. Yeah, that was good. That was a good.
I will. Did you end up coming back and watching, Elaine, and see me fucking bitch out the producer on air for not giving me the Kasai matchup in the top 8?
No.
That happened. He just had to make a decision, and we Charm and I had walked away because it was, we knew we had a little bit of downtime, and the judges were like, well, we need to know who we feature, and he had to pick a matchup, and he just picked the wrong one. And then he's like, don't worry, the Kasai will win. Then the Kasai lost, and I was uber fucking angry.
Well, yeah, that's why I left, because they put a Kasai on the other stream.
And that's why Charmer bitched at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did come back and watch a little, some more of the stream after the Canadian match stream had wrapped up. I went back and watched some more, but I didn't finish it.
Thanks for the support, Elaine.
I will. I'll finish it. I got you. Don't worry. I'll watch your stream too, Az.
I will watch Az's stream. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I will watch it live though. My siblings will kill me. I'm locked into Secret Hitler and Escape Games.
Well, that's.
Actually, we're running a D&D campaign this weekend. We're switching it up. Instead of board games, we're doing a little weekend D&D campaign.
Oh, sick.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Are you the DM?
No, they wanted me to DM, but I was like, I've never DM'd before.
So I saw this comparison that somebody made, and I think this is apt. The DM in Dungeons and Dragons is sitting in the cuck chair, because everything they're doing is to watch is to orchestrate the action while everybody else has a good time from their chair. So the DM chair is just the cuck chair.
Yeah, we're forcing Josh is gonna DM.
Oh, Josh is in the cuck chair.
Yeah, I think.
Tell him I said hi, and tell him I said hello, and tell him he's in the cuck chair.
Okay, I'll definitely tell. I'll tell him that. I'll tell all my siblings that you said hello. Yeah, I love having a ton of siblings that are also all nerds at their core.
That's great. Yeah,
like me. It's like, yeah, let's just get together and run a D&D campaign. We have 8 people.
Right. You have 2 campaigns. So
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the episode for this week. Unless anybody else has got anything else to share before we end this episode, but I thought that was a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing what the next on the topic of is going to be, because as we mentioned before, we take it in turns to bring these things to the table. And me being fairly, conservative in my views of being, okay, I'm going to try and tie this into what we've done before, and a little sort of gateway into the show. But I imagine Elaine and Logan's topics could go off the rails. I've got a few ideas for when I might sort of host again. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more chaos, and that's about it, really, I guess.
see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.